he reaches Mukherjee Nagar of Delhi. And that is where it kind of turns into aspirant kind of story. I understand the struggle piece of it, but it's not everything about a candidate. Every candidate is going through something or the other. Very few people can say that I had absolutely no problems whatever in my life.
Hello everyone, my name is Devalina Ray.
And my name is Abhishek Singh.
Welcome back to yet another episode of Weekends with Us. You see this big smile on our face? It is not because we have forgotten our lines or anything, but because we have watched a very beautiful movie, 12th Fail. It is still in theatres around you. So if you still haven't gotten the chance to watch the movie, do not wait, just book your tickets and watch it. It is an IMDb 9.3 rated movie made with a very small budget of 25 crores and it has already been able to reach to 13 crores in just 7 days of time. It is based on a true event which is taken from a novel by Mr. Anurag Pathak, and it revolves around the real life story of someone named Manoj Kumar Sharma, who sees the struggles of life coming and hailing from a town like Chambal, the land of dacoits, who sees extreme poverty but actually overcomes that to become an IPS officer. It is directed by Mr. Vidhu Vinod Chopra, who has given us such wonderful movies like the entire Munna Bhai series, Parinita, Mission Kashmir, Three Idiots, and this movie also does not disappoint us.
So this movie revolves around the character of Manoj Kumar Sharma, played by the lead actor Vikrant Massey.
I think Vikrant Massey as an actor has always proved his mettle in his acting abilities. We have seen him right from his Bollywood debut in Lutera, then A Death by the Gunj, then I think the very recent Hasina Dilruba as well. And here also he plays the character very convincingly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he has played like a lot of positive roles, like a protagonist and also at times antagonist, and always played it very beautifully.
Then we have Medha Shankar. It's a fresh face in the Bollywood film industry, which we much needed. Let's just accept that. And she plays the role of a sweet, supportive girlfriend to Vikrant Massey. Her character's name is Shraddha, and she also has her own aspirations and ambitions. From being an aspiring doctor to being an aspiring, clearing PCS to become a DSP. So I think that is a character which has been played really well, very convinced.
Exactly. So basically not a Preeti. Okay. She has her ambitions, she wants to become something.
Yeah, not a Preeti, reference Kabir Singh. Yeah.
Right. And then we have Anand Joshi, basically Pandeyji from the movie, who plays the role of the friend to the main character, who actually helps him out in his journey, right? And also has his own, arc during the entire story of where he wants to be and what he is forced to be.
Yeah. I feel like, you should always have a friend like him. And I think that role is also being done full justice to. I think you always need a friend, especially like, you do not come from a background who actually have connections or network or any direction or anyone who can give you direction. For example, here the character of Vikrant Massey is shown like someone who does not even know what is the U of a UPSC or what are the exams that are required to reach to a certain goal or a profession. I think you need someone who does not even judge you because of how you look, how you dress up, or what background you belong to, and who is only seeing that passion in you, that fire in you, that you want to do something. And that person, even I think the friend even picks him up from a station and he takes him to a city which is Delhi, to the Mukherjee Nagar, where the entire coaching institutes are taking care of all these aspirants.
Absolutely. I think you're right. I mean, we always need support of such people. It just reminds me of my father. So back in the day when, he was aspiring to be a doctor, and rather actually he had already cleared the examination and he went to Allahabad. So he was supported by a few people. He did not have enough money to have food even, right? And there was a small restaurant and the owner of the restaurant actually used to, help him out at times. So yeah, I mean, definitely those kind of people do exist.
Yeah. And I think that instills the faith in human, that sometimes maybe the people around you are actually not that bad, and we see that the arc of this character is so beautifully portrayed, from being a very selfless person who is actually giving him a place to stay, to always checking him, to the living condition at which Vikrant Massey was staying while preparing for his exams, checking in on him and giving him like all the facilities to also being a very strict friend, right? Like when उसका mind जब भटक जाता है, जब एक लड़की आ जाती है, he's that stern friend, a sweet warning that don't let anything distract you.
Also, this movie is basically based on Chambal, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the depiction of Chambal was very relatable to, especially to people who have their roots in villages.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my roots in villages. My father, came from one. My mother came from one, and I have been to villages. So, seeing Chambal, their lives, how they are living, the homes that they live in, the kind of food that they eat, the kind of schools they go to, and also seeing Jugaad after a long time. I mean, Jugaad everybody knows as a word, but do you know it as an automobile? Probably no.
I did not know about it.
Yeah, Jugaad is an actual Jugaad which runs on roads of certain villages. People just make this contraption out of available tires, engine from a tractor, and just make a vehicle through which people are transported. So loved seeing that part of the story. We see a cameo. Should we call it cameo or should we call a short role by
Priyanshu Chatterjee. Like we have seen him and we have loved him in the movie Tumbin. The songs are so beautiful that I'm sure a lot of you still love the songs of it. And the character portrayal by Priyanshu Chatterjee is so convincing. It was such a fresh thing for me to watch him back in the big screens. He has been doing a lot of Bengali films as well and a lot of short films as well. But seeing him again with such an acclaimed director with such strong storyline as well, I think it was very refreshing to see. He plays the role of a DSP.
Yes, who gives basically direction to the main character of Vikrant Massey. So I think the way he portrayed the character of a DSP was very convincing. I could see him doing more serious roles in the movies. He should definitely make a comeback in Bollywood, I feel.
See, this character, this protagonist as a character, because he hails from Chambal, where it is a norm. Theft, robbery, these are like norms of human livelihood. So from there are many people apart from his own parents and family, the grandmother. I think these are the key people who shapes the life of this person. And how सिर्फ चोरी चमाटी करके तुम एक ईमानदार आदमी तुम नहीं बन सकते हो. I think this is the entire storyline. And this is, I think, the first change that is brought in the mindset or the character of Vikrant Massey is actually Priyanshu Chatterjee.
Right.
Although his role is very small, but he plays a very significant role. I don't care if he does not play a significant role. I just loved watching him on the big screens.
Right.
So that is there.
Definitely. So I mean, you see the nuances of being in this village where corruption is rampant, the politicians control everything, the police is corrupt, and then this person, the lead character of Vikrant Massey, Manoj, he decides to become something more than what he is doing right now. At least become a DSP like Priyanshu Chatterjee's character.
Yeah.
Or if nothing else, I mean, the story forces him to become an IPS. I mean, he wants to become an IPS. Then when he realizes it's probably not possible to become a DSP because of certain reasons, right?
Yeah. I think the first inspiration in anyone's life is his or her own parents, right? And here also it is shown that Vikrant Massey's first inspiration is probably his father,
right,
who is shown as a very adarshwadi, moral person.
Yeah.
But I think the system is so corrupted
right,
that nobody actually appreciates the honesty of any human being. So whenever the Priyanshu Chatterjee's character is shown, I think it's a very powerful message which shows that if power lies in the hands of the rightful person, I think the society is going into the right direction as well.
And then I think the second half of the movie, I mean, without we are not going to reveal the plots to you. Of course, it's not a spoiler discussion. It's just that when he decides to become something, he reaches Mukherjee Nagar of Delhi, and that is where it kind of turns into aspirant kind of story. I mean, you will see the shades of the preparation, the hard work, the struggle of the students in general, and also his own struggle, like being a person who doesn't have any resources.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean that I think was very well shown. I mean, I could remember my days from Kota when we used to be crammed in like small rooms studying like day and night. Sometimes like 20 odd people being at the same place, opening their books, reading in dim light. So quite relatable stuff you could see in the movie.
I think we also see a hint of the survival story also, because when he lands in Gwalior, where he plans to prepare for his PCS exam, and that is where he faces the brutal society as well, where his luggage gets stolen. So all the money that his dadima has actually collected over years of pension money, that gets stolen. So now he does not have any money left with him. So then it teaches you that how you should be surviving. You should be staying bhuka pet as well, plus doing any sort of work just to have that bit of food to survive. I think that is the struggle which has been shown, not just of the exam but also of his own character.
Right. I mean, we have seen struggle movies where people have to survive on menial jobs. They have to do anything to survive, but it doesn't mean that it has been shown in other movies. It takes away from this movie, or you see the character struggling, surviving, and you appreciate it. That I mean, of course, I mean, someone who doesn't have any means, and there are real life people who go through these kind of things, right? I mean, I know certain people who come from very poor families, and hats off to those people who make it in life, who become these IAS, IPS officers, who become engineers, doctors, scientists. Hats off to them.
I think in any aspirants kind of a movie, right? We always see there is one bhaiya who takes tuition of many other aspirants, and who is also probably someone who has been struggling and is not passing any of the exams. So this there is also a character like this over here. The character name is Gauri Bhaiya, and it has been played again beautifully by Anshuman Pushkar. And this is his first Bollywood movie. This is his first film, and I feel that he has done a fabulous job. And let me just tell, this movie is like a Jeeta Jata example of how the casting has played such a crucial role.
Right.
No nepotism at all, the contradictory word, the controversial word. And all of them have been chosen because of their acting abilities or because of the audition that these people have given.
Right.
So I feel that is a job done very wonderfully by Anshuman. One thing that I want to mention is, I think both the friend character, which is Anant Joshi and Anshuman, they hail from places like UP and Bihar.
Oh.
So which makes them, I feel, like their voice and their words are very clear. So the dialogue delivery, the dialect is like absolutely, it picks up the essence of the plot around which the movies built around.
Basically, being from those kind of places,
it
feels they are authentic, basically.
It adds to the authenticity of it.
Right.
Also, I feel like it's a very beautiful message which gives around the fact that which Gauri Bhaiya gives, that even if one person succeeds, even if I'm not the person who is succeeding, from my batch of aspirants, there should, even if that one person succeeds, we all should be celebrating for that person.
I think the cinematography was great. Depiction of the village as well as the Mukherjee Nagar was done very well.
I felt a little disturbing in the start because of the camera was shaking a lot at the start.
A lot of handheld stuff going on.
That we could definitely make out. Lot of I was getting, my head was spinning beyond a point, and my eyes were straining. But I don't know if that was the way it was supposed to be shot or not.
Because I don't think that happened later on in the movie. It was mainly happening in the village for some reason. Maybe they were trying to just depict the sheer chaos. Maybe the chaos of being in such a place. Maybe that could be the reason. I like the fact that there were no songs. It was very focused. No unnecessary songs. I mean, usually I don't like the romantic angles in the movie. When there's just a girl to be there as a romantic interest. But thankfully, the girl also played it very well. She had her own story arc, own ambitions, and there was no songs. Like the fact.
Yeah, there was just only one song where the girl is just showing her talent. She just sings, and but you know what? That becomes like, I think in every movie, I remember in one of the reviews we were saying, Jawan review, that there should be one tune which should be stuck in the chords, and which should continuously be playing at the background of the movie. So there was just one tune, I feel, that was there throughout the movie, and it was capturing the essence of the emotion behind what the character was going through. So that was one. So since we're speaking about Medha Shankar as a character and some singing around it, let me tell you one thing. I actually have interacted with Medha in the past.
Oh, is it?
This is not just a surprise for you people. Not like a surprise, but a revelation for you people.
Yeah.
It was a revelation for me also
Right.
because I was like, when I was seeing her on the screen, I was feeling, I know this face. I told you, right? I
Right.
have probably seen her in films or something,
Right.
or in some short films. It is not that. I have seen her face because I've interacted with her in Instagram in the past.
Nice.
So I think during just before the COVID,
Mhm.
we were actually interacting. Like we want to do a dance collaboration together.
Right.
So for people who do not know, I also do dancing. I'm trained in Kathak and Indo-contemporary.
Mhm.
So few of my videos went viral and it reached out to a lot of audience. So Mega was one sweet person who had reached out that we should be collaborating and we should be learning from each other.
Oh, nice.
So, but that did not ever happen because then COVID happened. Like we were speaking in the months of March,
Okay.
and then in March the COVID happened. So that never really happened.
Hmm.
But another fun fact of her is she actually is a very beautiful singer.
Oh.
So I actually wrote her, like, if you ever get the chance to explore singing, like when you sang, it was very convincing.
Right.
When her character was singing,
Right.
because I thought that probably she's the one singing. Of course, I think it is Shreya Ghoshal, but still.
Okay. Right. Nice. That's great to know. I wasn't aware of any of this.
Speaking of fun facts, I have one more fun fact for you.
Okay.
We are speaking so highly of the team who has been casted. Do you know who is the casting manager or like associate of this movie?
No, not at all.
This was something I also found it shocking.
Right.
You know the character Naval which has been played here, the friend role who says चाय के टपरी पे बैठ के वो लोग डिस्कस करते हैं कि like
Right.
these people just comes in
Oh, that person.
groups
Yes. The from the English speaking.
from the English speaking community
Right.
who are saying कि ये लोग बस झुंड में आते हैं.
Yes.
इनको पता ही है कि भाई they should just accept the हकीकत of their life and they should just move on.
Right.
He is the casting director of this movie.
Wow. Amazing.
So I think during the casting, Mr. Vidhu Vinod Chopra has given him this responsibility of casting, and I think they were doing all these dialogue discussions with them, and they found out that he also does good acting, so he was pulled in or roped in for the role of Naval as well.
क्या बात है? Like,
Yeah.
like basically.
He speaks very शुद्ध हिंदी.
Ah.
I just saw a couple of videos of his and बहुत अच्छा हिंदी बोलता है.
Nice. I mean, basically like a selection committee member playing cricket. I am also great at batting. Let me come to the field.
Let me show you how it is done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we have pretty much covered a lot of things about this movie, mostly positive. I personally, I think, had some criticisms. Maybe you might not agree with it, but I had some criticisms. One was, see, there are times when you appreciate a movie where there is no unnecessary comparisons done. Like when I was watching the movie Groomer, I mean, again, a fabulous movie, you should also watch that. One thing I loved about that movie is when they showed the struggle of this girl who had her hand amputated. During that entire movie, no one was telling her, hey, you are a woman, just go, no, just be in kitchen or something. No. Nobody told her, you are a handicap, stay away, you cannot do this, you should not be here. At no point in time anybody tries to put her down. Right? I mean, the character of Abhishek Bachchan, of course, is being a bully coach to her to make her better, but no other character in the movie is trying to actively put her down. This movie, like many movies, has to create a villain section of people. Oh, so these are the rich, the affluent English-speaking folks who are constantly telling like these guys are like sheeps. They keep on coming from small towns. They don't know what they are doing. They should go back. तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. That is like one line that's is mentioned in the movie. So I thought sometimes it's okay to let the struggle of the person speak for itself and not really people actively putting them down all the time. Small criticism, but
yeah, this is from his side. While I deferred a little bit, I feel, of course, you're right that one should not be uplifting somebody by putting down someone or demeaning someone or category of people. But I also feel that this movie does not really overdo it. There are different characters who are trying to play different roles as well. For example, the friend. The friend comes from at least a little more affluent family. Definitely in comparison to Vikrant Massey, he does not try to put him down.
Yeah.
He always tries to look out for his friend, who was like an absolute stranger to begin with. Of course, there is one or two people who are showing, sometimes I feel like contrasting situations are meant to be portrayed to show the contrast also in the struggle and everything.
Right.
So I did not have too much of a complaint or a criticism on this point. I understand what you are saying. I just felt this was a well balanced movie because I feel like they were not really overdoing with it.
Yeah, they are not overdoing it. It's just that it's like, for example, I told, right, I am from Kota. I went to Kota for IIT preparation. So I have been to places where people prepare for such exams. Now, thing is, I was from UP. I had a UP accent. I did not know how to speak English at all.
Yeah.
Right? I had a proper UP accent. I could not even spell certain words properly. I used to say omelette. Omelette, not omelette. It's omelette. Right? That is the level of English, you can imagine where I was during those days. But the merit of a person in such places like IIT preparations in Kota, during coaching institutes, it was not really about the way you speak English or if you are from rich families. People used to really embrace each other somehow.
Yeah.
I really used to like the camaraderie that used to be there between students. There was competition, fierce competition. At times, people did not used to reveal the courses that they might be taking, the material they might be reading. But I did not ever feel that I was being discriminated based on my language, the lack of speaking English, or my background at all. So I just couldn't relate to that part of it. This happens more in colleges. When you actually reach a college, that is when it actually exaggerates. That is where the society differences, the more you are English speaking, good looking, the more you are from poor families. That divide actually starts appearing in colleges. So just based on my experience, I found it a little jarring, but again, very small complaint.
Yeah. And I think the next comes the interview part.
Interview part. Yeah, I had to, and this is the second time it is happening. I was just remembered before we were recording, there was another interview in Three Idiots. Sharman Joshi.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Sharman Joshi comes in, he speaks about the fact that how much he has suffered in his life. And the person is like, और कब लोगे आप अपना offer letter? Offer letter कब लेने वाले हो? I understand the struggle piece of it, but it's not everything about a candidate. Every candidate is going to something or the other. Very few people can say that I had absolutely no problems whatever in my life. In this interview, and by the way, slight spoiler warning, technically it shouldn't be a spoiler because we anyway said that it's based on a real life story of someone who became an IPS. How will that person become an IPS? By giving interview. So interview happens in this movie. so the interview happens, and that interview is all about, again, the poverty. Why are you here? You don't even know how to speak English. You shouldn't be chosen for this role. And then he defends by saying, that I'm from this background and that is my strength. Doesn't matter I speak Hindi or English, this and that. They never ask him questions about politics, about what he's going to do, the changes he's going to bring. And even the changes he wants to bring is all, again, about his town's cheating problem in the school. A person who's becoming an IPS or an IAS should have larger goals in life. There was one instance in the movie where he writes an essay about terrorism. That shows that his mind is open to a lot of different things. I think that could have been brought better during the interview.
When I first watched the movie as an audience without any criticism in mind, I was like, okay, because the entire concept was around how to be an imandar person.
Yes.
Okay. Especially for someone who comes from a background of Chambal.
Right.
I mean, the name speaks everything. So I felt that probably it is okay, but then I understand that this portion has been really Bollywoodized.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I feel the job that has been done by TVA for aspirants is a brilliant job, because there they pick up questions for the UPSC exam so well. The way you have to apply your mind, your intelligence on the spot, you have to think on your feet to give answers.
Exactly.
And there are questions which are based on your answers, the follow-up questions also. So I think that is where it was missing in this interview, 12th fail interview.
Right.
So the research was missing, I felt.
Yeah, it's an administrative job. You are going to really decide, future of a lot of things when you become an IAS or an IPS officer. I mean, that has to show in the character. I mean, aspirants, as you rightly said, shows that beautifully, because once your interview starts, you can take your past and your background and turn it into your strength, but that doesn't deter from the fact that you will be asked hard questions. Again, going back to my own experience, I mean, I just bringing it up. I when I cleared my placements during my college, I lost my father when, in the first year of my college. When I appeared for placements and when I went for the interview, the one company I got selected for, the interviewer actually asked me about my parents. So I mentioned that yes, I lost my father. But that wasn't the whole interview where I had to talk about my struggles and what am I doing and what my family is going through. I talked about business. I talked about what I was going to do once I joined the organization, what things I had in mind, what I had done in college. And at the end of the interview, what the person really appreciated was that Abhishek loved the fact that you are so thorough with your experiences, what you have done, and also the positivity that you exuded, right? I mean, you seem to be a very positive person. That is what I think an interview is all about. You take your background, you turn into a strength, and you are still a very competent person at the job. You shouldn't be selected solely because of your struggles.
But if you are getting a chance in front of people where you have failed so many attempts and you have finally been able to land yourself a position in your last attempt, this is your time to shine, even if the person is just demeaning you. Absolutely. Or is putting you to a corner.
Yeah.
This is a tip for you people, okay? Because this person, this character is being asked the question that aapko 12th fail ho.
Right.
He just says a yes. And that's it.
There
is a big pause and the person does not utilize the time to prove or to even share the story. Like, yes, I failed.
Let me give you a little background.
Let me give you a little background. And this is how I passed also in the next year.
Yeah.
And this is how I want to do in my life. This has been the struggle. Like a lamba pause of just 2 seconds of time is being utilized by people.
Right.
Because that is the time when you can just put in your thoughts.
Right.
So I think that was like a little Bollywood portrayal.
It is Bollywood portrayal because see, I mean, whatever your struggles are, trust me, in an interview like these, not just these, you can go for CAT exams, you can go for any of the major examinations. If you think your struggle are unique, it is not. Lakhs of people are appearing for it. You may have lost your parent. People might have lost their families. You may have lost, your wealth. People could have lost their limbs. Like, so every time you think you are special, you are not. Somebody would have had even tougher life than you. So it's your job to make yourself competent during the interview and not just depend on your struggles. It's just I know I'm harping upon this a lot, but being through these kind of situations in my life, I just felt that it was a little bit more drama than actual reality.
Than the reality.
Yeah.
No, I think same page.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that was our review of 12th Fail. I think we discussed a lot of points, more than what we thought. But that's where it is. If you have your own story to share, if you want to talk about your experiences with such examinations, do put it in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe.
Bye. See you in the next episode. Who has given us such wonderful movies, the entire Munna Bhai series, then Parinita.
Parita. I was like, यहाँ से तो बोल रही है. मैं भूल गया था कि it's Parinita.
Okay. And this movie also does not fail to disappoint. Is the statement correct? Does not fail to disappoint.
Oh, so it does not fail to disappoint. Does not disappoint.
Does not fail to disappoint. Who has given us such wonderful movies like the entire Munna Bhai series, then
cut.
Like the entire Munna Bhai series. Munna Bhai बोल रही हूँ पता है मैं कब से. ए कांता भाई, ए मुन्ना भाई.